Audio Frontier.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is Wrestling Daft and is scheduled for 1 hour. Maybe more. It has no real time limits, making their way into your ears. First, from a place called Barneston, he is the Pyramid. Rab Grado.
It's going to be the funniest show ever because I'm all about the comedy and the money, baby.
How much you can pay?
And his partner, the top end of Stevenson.
From Mexico City to Beef Community Centre, I've got stories that are going to blow your mind.
Hello and welcome to Wrestling Daft. My name's Rab Florence and Grado's sitting there. Grado, you are on this show with me as usual. How are you doing, mate?
I'm alright, Rab. How's yourself?
I'm good. No, but how actually are you? Because I know it's a thing you do at the top of the show. You kind of go like, how are you, mate? I am alright. How actually are you, mate?
Well, first of all, I'm a wee bit kind of sad that I've just found out about the passing of Bob Ryder. I just tweeted about it there. Bob was he was original TNA guy. He started the company with Jeff and JB and everybody else in 2002. He's been there since. He was the first guy to phone me to offer me a contract 5 or 6 years ago. Hey, Grado, you ready to come to America? And I'll never ever forget that. And he was the nicest man. Every month he helped me with my flights, helped me with everything to do with money wise and stuff like that. And he was. Everybody loved him. He was just a great guy, and unfortunately had cancer near the end and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, he's been in wrestling for like 30 odd years back before there was podcasts and shoot interviews and stuff like that. He was involved with kind of like radio stuff with WCW that was so original at the time, and he's been with TNA every day since. So sad reading about it. And hearing about it, one of the boys just gave us a bell there, and you know it's only just happened in the last hour, and it's a bit weird that I don't know how moral this is, but TNA haven't made any official statement on it, and like Meltzer's reporting it, and I'm like, hold on, man, just what? It's not a scoop, mate.
This is for a minute. Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't think Bob had much family. I could be wrong, but I just think it's a bit. Oh, I've got to go on. Oh, I've got to report it. It's just a bit immoral. I mean, obviously it's going to get out, but then that's by the by. But it's just a wee bit, and also it's the folk that are stooging after him as well. But that's always going to be the case.
See, this is a weird thing I think that people forget is it's guys like Meltzer and stuff like that have a huge influence, don't they, on the scene and stuff, and he has had a huge influence for a long time. But there's a reason why we call these things the dirt sheets and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I mean these guys don't have many morals.
No.
You know what I mean? They don't. They can't be in that game if they have morals, if they care about people's feelings, if
that's true, Rob.
Any of that. So it's odd that he gets the respect that he does get, because I don't know what Meltzer's done that's good for professional wrestling, if I'm being honest. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that agree with you, mate. I mean, I personally like the guy. Met him, thought he was brand new. He's kind of buried me a few times, but then I've been deserved to be buried, but he's also put me over sometimes as well, but I think most folk would agree with you that he's a bit, yeah. I mean, I've met some wrestlers that if you even mention his name, it's like, stop fucking talking about him. Do not talk about him. There's some folk that just absolutely hate him, and I can probably understand why, but it seems as though, like, he's cool to a lot of some of the wrestlers, and you see all this Uncle Dave patter and shit like that. Fucking winds me up.
Well, he's been around for a long time. Anyway, let's not talk about him anymore. Let's move on to... Here's something. Will we have a wee chat about Survivor Series before we go? We'll wait until the burying thing, because we want to talk about that. We want to talk about Survivor Series, wouldn't we?
I never watched it. I was going to watch it.
I did, mate, so I can cover us there, right? I want to thank Ryan, who got in touch and said thanks to us for getting him back into wrestling. He says he's binge listened to nearly every single episode at work. That's great to hear, Ryan. Glad you're enjoying the show. Keep tuning in. You don't say tuning in on the internet, but whatever as you do, pressing buttons, keep pressing buttons on your phone. Jumbo says it's great to see Drew win the WWE Championship. I love the guy, total shot in the arm for the WWE and can go on to win many more championships. But he's losing his hair, says Jimbo. And I think he needs to get his head shaved or get a transplant. Hopefully the latter, because he suits the long hair. I know, as a fellow baldy, he says, that day has to come and he's clinging on, man. I had long hair and get shot at when I started resembling a bargain basement Bill Bailey. I'm sorry, says Jumbo, but no matter how solid a cunt is, if your hair's stinking, I think I've got a chance.
I don't
think Drew's losing his hair.
No. You sure?
I think this guy's projecting here. I don't think Drew's losing his hair.
Is it maybe thinning out because he dyes it black every other week? Could that be? Does that?
I've not noticed any difference.
No, unless he's got a kind of Gareth Bale type gimmick going on in the back of his dome. I don't know.
And I'm speaking as a baldy here. John's making a face.
It looks like it's going that way. Grado, is his dad bald?
His dad's bald, aye.
No, but it's the mum's dad you look at to see if you're going to be bald or not. Is that right?
Is it?
Well, so I
don't know if he was bald, so I can't tell you that.
But the mum's dad,
maybe it's gone bald. I would imagine that a guy who's had long hair and has experienced hair loss, he's probably seen the signs we drew. You know what I mean? So you had long hair, didn't you, Rab?
I had long hair at one point, aye.
I totally forget you're bald because you've always got a bun on.
Well, take it from me, I don't think he's good. I think he's got plenty of time. He's got plenty of time.
About another 4 or 5 years at it, would you
think?
Oh,
no, he's got another 10, easy.
So?
Plenty of time, take it from me. Anyway, he'll look fine if he shaves it. I bet you when he shaves his head, he looks much better than fucking Jumbo looks. Tell you that.
But these days and age, mate, you don't need these. They're getting tattoos in their skull and they're getting fucking transplants and all that. I don't see him as the kind of guy that would go for the cosmetic surgery or whatever.
No, Drew will just shave it off and just...
Because he's solid, man.
It's better, guys.
Get a deal. I mean, that kind of market's kind of sewn up by ex-footballers and cricketers, on the back of the pages. So,
and Bob.
And Chelsea Bob. So he'll get a wee cheeky deal if he's losing hair, if he wants a wee hair transplant. Yeah?
Well, listen, boys, remember the listener Keith, who we chatted to and he worked at Hugo Boss, remember?
Aye.
That's a few episodes back for anybody that's not heard that one. Very good episode, classic episode. Well, he has sent us a video of all the WWF wrestlers for 1987 on a stage singing a song called If You Only Knew. And it's as awkward as it sounds. Hulk, Macho Man, Slick, $1 Million Man singing. Everybody swaying and clapping along. Here's a wee blaster at. Let's see a wee bit of this one to go. Got the Raw there as well, all of them.
I heard a lot about chatter. That really doesn't matter to me.
Virgil, no selling it.
Wanna see me in agony?
Oh, they're miming. They're miming.
Give him a break, they're wrestlers. Bobby Heenan, beautiful.
Does this totally take you back to me where I've been, Rab?
It does a wee bit. Jimmy Hart's loving this.
Aye.
I remember this song.
Was this the Simon Cowell album?
It might be.
Is Hogan there?
Hogan has a solo.
I love how Virgil's not selling this. King Kong Bundy there, man.
Bundy with his fucking... Needs me a picture.
So weird, it's like Hillbilly Jim looks about fucking 14 in this video. Junkyard Dog famously fell asleep at the wheel of his motor. Crashed and died. There he is. All kind of tux as well.
You have to see us on the Patreon, patreon.com/Wrestling Daft.
Aye, if you want to see this video and get on our Patreon, don't go on YouTube and just Google it on YouTube. Don't search for it on YouTube. Coco Bewell's fucking brilliant, isn't he?
It goes on for 5 minutes. We'll stop it.
Have I showed you the picture? See when you see Bundy standing there with his belly out and the bow tie?
Hold on, can you start it again? Sorry. Did I see Dynamite Kid there as well?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, just the thought of Dynamite Kid doing that up on the stage while them fucking hated a lot of them.
But they've actually kind of covered
every one of them.
Do Do you think they've been warned? Right. Don't be getting fucking up, at your age.
Somebody's
Right.
had to warn Dynamite Kid not to fucking, I don't know, spray liquid LSD into the eyes of any of the audience or something. That's what they'd fucking need to say to him.
So I've sent a picture into the group chat, which I think will be the picture that's used for me if it never comes out about me. Anything bad, that'll be the picture. It's
Oh, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? That's if it goes downward. It's a picture of me here. I don't know if you can get that on the Patreon, but it's a picture of me in a bow tie.
So is this your death picture? Is what you're saying? So you're basically saying
No, it's not a death picture. That's if something dodgy gets found in his laptop.
Bobby out in Snapchat or something like that.
Right, right, yeah, absolutely.
That's a picture.
It's one of the ones. It's one of the ones. It looks like you could see that guy on the same show as a Savile, or you know what I mean. It's that kind of thing, innit?
Right, it's terrific.
See
It's
that,
horrible.
yeah, absolutely.
Get on our
horrible.
Patreon and see that beautiful photo of Grado. Let's see what the punters are saying. No, the thing I want to talk about, right, and I know that some of the punters I want to talk about and all, is the high point, without a doubt, of Undertaker's farewell is these video messages he's been doing on Cameo to people that have paid for these video messages. I spent Monday, the vast majority of Monday, just pissing myself laughing at these videos coming out. They were fucking amazing. They were amazing. Right, we need to... Grado, have you... What did you make of these?
Well, my favourite video of all time now is "Hello, Granny." I just love it. Hello, Granny. And it was a lot better than what they done in Survivor Series. I thought Survivor Series was a bit weird, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. We'll talk about that. But let's hear some. Let's hear a wee snippet here.
Hello, Granny. It's the Undertaker. I just wanted to wish you a late, belated, happy 91st birthday. Good Lord, 91. That's awesome. 91 years of dominance. Just like my 30 years of dominance. Granny, you keep doing what you're doing.
You keep doing me a
You
thing,
have a
Granny.
great Thanksgiving. And if anyone doesn't like it, tell them that you'll send the Undertaker after them personally. And they will rest in peace.
Somebody at 91 getting that.
It has to be said, by the way, he's looking good. He's looking good, Taker, there, I think.
It's good, mate.
The one where he says about the husband.
Oh, but I've not seen that one.
Thank you for... Right, hold on.
Oh, hold on, I think I've got that
I
one.
think this guy tweeted it.
I think it's... Hold on.
Thank you. Thank you for being such a great husband. Thank you for being such a wonderful father. Thank you. Thank you for being such a great...
Thank you,
Hey, I'm laughing, man, but he's made like fucking 30k in half an hour.
I know. He's just blasted through all them, isn't he?
Mate, he was on. Aye, he was, isn't he?
What do you mean? Would you dare it? Would you dare him? Why would you not get on Cameo, mate?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Would you do it? We had a discussion about it before. I just think it's a bit. I mean, I don't want to bury it in case I end up having to do it. So
We have a weird thing here in Scotland, though, didn't we? We think doing something like that's a bit kind of.
aye,
It's a bit an embarrassment, isn't it?
that's definitely a Scottish thing. Do you know that? It
Aye, it is.
because-
Americans don't get. Listen, if the fucking Undertaker's doing it.
Aye,
You know
no,
what I mean?
it definitely is, man. You don't want to be seen. That's for. Come on, there you go, hen. There you go. There's a thing with a video for your Wayne. Do you know what I mean? That's no. I wouldn't have the neck to turn around and go right. That's a score. Hurry up. You know what I mean?
Aye.
No, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. But I might do it.
Aye. Hello, Granny.
Hello, Granny.
Why not, for next week, send in your Wrestling Daft cameos and we can do a couple of
Aye, we'll do a couple
Aye,
frees.
if you want. Right,
Do that. We'll do it for free, I know.
Right, well, listen. So the Undertaker done 30. We'll do free.
Aye, that's
Right.
fair enough.
Right, we'll do free next week.
So what did he charge? Did he charge $1,000 for each one?
Yep.
Fucking hell, man.
A grand for each one, and he done 30. It was a limited
Maybe worth it,
amount.
innit? He done 30 and they will last like about a minute. I like you say, like half an hour, just standing there in costume backstage at
Yeah.
Survivor Series, 30k in his bin. I mean, fuck me.
You see him
That's
on GMTV?
On the breakfast thing.
He was on Good Morning Britain with, what do you call
Yeah,
that
you sent me
guy?
the thing,
Morgan.
didn't you?
Aye. I never watched it.
I saw it all.
It's good to see him. You can see he's enjoying being able to like be himself and talk to people now. You know what I mean?
Mate, he'll be an I'm a Celebrity next year.
I hope so.
He could be, by the way. He could
I
be.
hope so.
Celebrity pointless. Here's the Undertaker on.
Celebrity come down with me. Him and fucking Craig Charles and fucking Kevin Webster and you know what I mean? Christopher Biggins.
we asked some of the punters, by the way, what they would have wanted the Undertaker to say. Davey suggested, "When your gran comes round and she's wanting a wee cake, Empire biscuit, or yum yum with her tea, make sure it's McGee's." That was Davey's suggestion.
They might be stealing your gig, Grado.
That's a belter, could you
Yum
imagine
Yum.
that? Sorry, big man, we don't need you this year. We've got fucking Taker. Aye, tidy.
Annie Bloom suggested, "Hello, Sean, it's me, Simon Laban. I love you and always will. Have a rockin' great day, and remember, vote them out." Cool.
Scott McKenzie's got a good one. 11.
Fantastic. Right, do the Lucas one, Grado.
Right, the Lucas one, where is it?
Second one down on that page.
I am the dead man, the Undertaker. I am here today with an important announcement. Petrol stations, stop overcharging juice. What? You think because you're out the way a bit, you can charge £2 for a bottle of Iron Brew? The RRP is printed on the bottle. You are con man.
I would love him to do that. I'd love him to do that. And Ryan suggested, "I'm a wrestler, Tay." Right, it's time for the pun in. This has become a regular feature. Every week we ask you to come up with puns based on wrestling. This week, Grado wanted to hear your medical-based wrestling wordplay. You ready for this, Grado?
Aye, can I get mine at the road first?
Get them in.
About half an hour ago. What do we see? And I did also, for some reason, when I was doing the puns for this week, I found an extra, or should I say, I come up with an extra sex one for last week.
Right.
I don't. Maybe somebody said that, I don't know, but I just, when I was trying to get the medical ones, I come up with Sasha Wanks. Sorry, innit?
That's pretty
Anyway,
good.
medical
Pretty
terms,
good.
I have went for this, but a wee bit harder this week. First one, Arthritis O'Neill. Pink Eye Party.
Aye.
Hell in a Stem Cell.
Aye. Mm-hmm.
This one probably is no good if you read it, but Dean my lymph node. And Johnny St Margaret's Hospice. Johnny St Margaret's
God.
Hospice. And also the last one is a bit shit. Boke Dallas.
Boke Dallas.
They're shit. Anyway.
I feel bad that you think Boke Dallas is shit because I had Mean Gene Bokerland as well. So. Fraser Smith says Albert the hippo or smear test. Jesus. Krieger the wrestler. Nah. Krieger the wrestler. More joking. Krieger the wrestler. Krieger the wrestler. Fuck's sake. Right. Let me do that again. Krieger the wrestler. Suggested Carlos colonoscopy. Martin Indoors said smear money or X-ray Mysterio. Good one.
That's a good one.
Kirk can't decide if triple HIV or triple AIDS is funnier, so he's submitting both.
Yeah, good on you.
John says Adam Colitis. Pablo says Drew Gulaxative. Otis Cystitis O'Neill. Leo Thrush.
That's a good one. We could have used that last week.
One Man Gang Green. and bingo ballinitis. Ben says appendixy Carter.
Yeah, that's good.
Porcho says ADHDX.
See, I came up with that, but I didn't want to submit it.
Seat Dandy says Bobby the Brain Hemorrhage Heenan.
That's a classic one.
Westy with King Kong Bunyan. King Kong Bunyan, that's right, okay. Alistair Kevin Rash. Or Ambulance Storm. Big Benny says Common Cold Sneeze Austin.
Where the fuck would be?
There's hundreds. There's hundreds.
It's Paracetamol Holly. Sprain McMahon.
Sprain McMahon.
And Ibuprofen Balor. Flu McIntyre. And John Disleray.
Oh my god, the next one.
Oh my god. Says John Laryngitis. Willie, Tommy Endoscopy. Two-time listener of the week, Geordie Coyle has got back with gastric master sexy. Stevie B with STD Low Brown. BBG with Dusty Roids. James with Bobby Whip Lashley.
Oh, that's smart.
Aye, Bobby Whip Lashley, that's good. Chris, Kidney Stone Cold Steve Austin. Cameron with a few here, Vasectomy Dreamer. Alopecia Samuels. $1 Million Man Ted Diabetes. and Papa Shingles. Oh man. Stu P, Big E Ebola or Chlamydian.
That's good.
Beautiful. Liam with Greg the Hammeroids Valentine. Dunks with Hunter Hearst Hernia. Gladonoid with Superfly Jimmy Veruca. Morgs with AJ Piles. And finally, Gary with Legionnaires of Doom. Oh my god, they were some good ones there.
Oh man, they were shit hot, weren't they?
Oh, Ibuprofen Balor.
Fucking
Paracetamol Holly.
I love John Laryngitis.
Oh, hi, John Laryngitis. So good.
If
you want to get in touch with us about any of that or just random wrestling related stuff, you can get us on Twitter at Wrestling Daft, on Instagram at Wrestling Daft Podcast, just Wrestling Daft on Facebook, or email us at wrestlingdaft@gmail.com.
What are we doing next week? What are we doing next week?
We will do. We never done Chinese food the following week, didn't we? No.
No, we didn't do Chinese food. No.
Oh, we need to do Chinese food. Let's do Chinese food.
Or Scottish cuisine.
Chinese food, I think. Chinese food.
Okay, right. We'll go for Chinese
because that'll
food
be
next
extra good because people need to walk the line between being funny and no being racist.
Yep.
So it's a true test. It's going to be a true test. We don't want any racist stuff. So, but put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Every week we like to separate the good for the bad in the wrestling, the Undertakers for the Underfakers. What you want to bury and what you want to put out this week, Grado?
I don't know. What should I don't know.
Well, you watched Undertaker's Farewell, right?
Undertaker's Farewell was... Right, well, Undertaker's Farewell was probably the only thing I've seen this week. And I thought it was a bit weird. But, I mean, it was good getting all his old pals. But it was like... It was a bit of a... I don't know, is this just a kind of new thing, right? But, like, older guys now, when they come back and everybody dances to the theme tunes now and they all kind of dance, like, all dance, don't they? Like, you know, in the ring and, like, Godfather's music hits and, like, you know, fucking Savio Vegas, pure dancing to it and clapping to it and Mick Foley and all that. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Am I being a wee bit too much of a Scrooge?
No, I think you're right. I don't know. I don't even understand why they all came out.
Come on! You know what I mean?
Why were they all out? Because they just all came out and then they vanished.
Fucked off,
I know.
Midian looked as if he'd been carted for the fucking nearest boozer, which I don't. If he is having problems, then I feel bad. But do you know what I mean? He looked
Covering
done
yourself
up,
there. I just didn't get it. I didn't get. Look, fundamentally, my main issue with this is the Undertaker should have been saying goodbye in front of an audience.
Aye. But do you know what that way? But Rab, I couldn't really get into it because it's been Undertaker's been a talk all summer. No, that way. Then you feel like that.
Aye.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's been shoved in my throats, and as much as he's great, it's just, I mean, you can't say that. I can't say that. But I'm just saying emotionally, I wasn't like, oh, fucking bad.
But it still would have been. It still would have been. I think you would have liked it if it had been in front of a crowd. And here's why: we get robbed of the opportunity to see the Undertaker struggling with his emotions. A lot of these guys come out and they do their retirement speeches and stuff, and I think they have a lot of plans in their head for how it's going to go. But then the crowd start chanting, and the crowd are just a live, organic thing, and they do their own thing, they do what they want. And, you know, you see these guys get emotional because the crowd start doing things they maybe didn't expect, or, you know, or just the crowd being there just emotionally gets to them. What we ended up getting there for Undertaker, I felt, was it was a performance that was really... You know, he was just coming out and doing his bit, and there was no audience there to feed off it, and it was a shame because it robbed him, I think, of a very real moment, and it robbed the audience of a very real moment, because I think the kind of response he would have got, I think, for the crowd, he would have struggled to stay in character and all that, I think, you know what I mean?
Do you think Undertaker had a pure shite day on Sunday, man? Pure day cameos with footies wiggling and all that. And, hello, Granny. Just pure coming back for it and going, that was a lot of shite, man. I'm going to get ripped this week for all the cameos. And then I'm going out there and there's no fucking crowd. And somebody's fucking invited fucking Rikishi. You know what I mean?
Aye.
I can't
it's
be
also
arsed
that
with
thing,
this.
it's like...
So why get him, man? I've got GMTV in the morning.
You know that thing as well, when all your mates turn up for a thing and you kind of look at your mates and you go, fucking hell, all my mates are a fucking mess. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel I would have felt that as well. Would have looked down and seen what was still in the ring, and I'd have been like, look at the fucking state of him, man.
I know.
You know how the way you go on Facebook, you know, right? Here's what I do. I go on Facebook and I look at, sometimes I see people that I was at school with, and it reminds me about how old I'm getting, because I look at them and I go, fucking look at the state of them, man.
That's so
Look
weird.
at the state of all the people I went to school with. They look fucking ancient.
Aye, mate. I went on a bird that was in my class at the school. I went on her Facebook today. Don't get me wrong, she's been smoking the hash when she was about 11, but it's certainly taken her toll. You know, that way you can see her eyes, they're all getting that wrinkly way, and she was tidy back in the day, you know, and it's a kind of sad thing, and I would imagine Undertaker felt the same, and, you know, it's the awkwardness of like the Godwins turning up with their gear. They're dungarees and all that, no, I mean, like, fucking, just bring your gear. the Godwins coming backstage, you know what I mean? Saying, Rikishi, you brought your gear. We're doing it in gear.
Right. But why were you on the Lassie for your school's Facebook page today?
Fucking snipped a bit, you know what I mean? Aye, anyway.
Big Kane came out and he was in the full regalia.
Aye, man.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
Mate, two of them, do you think, that's another thing I know, imagining like Undertaker and Kane getting their wigs fitted at the same time. Backstage, yeah. Is that your wig? No, it's Kane's.
Actually, if Undertaker,
I'm sure that's mine.
if Undertaker was to go on Pointless Celebrities, Kane would be good to go on with him, wouldn't he? Do it together.
I've never seen Pointless.
Oh, that's fair.
Family Fortunes, you could go on that.
Oh, aye.
Undertaker,
Taker,
Kane. Who else are they
His
related
wife,
to?
Michelle McCool.
What's her second names? You know how in Family
Katie
Fortunes
Vick.
about
Katie Vick. Aye, yeah.
Katie
yeah.
Vick.
Yeah.
So what did you make of the Paul Bearer hologram?
Again, it would have been. Could they have done it in front of a crowd? That would have go a. You know what I mean? That would have really kind of. You know what I mean? Would have got a really
They got a
good
wee
reaction.
clap.
Aye, but it was just a kind of fake crowd. Oh, look at that! That's nice. That's a nice touch, isn't it?
It's a pity. You would have thought they could have got Paul Bearer moving instead of it just being like a still. That felt a wee bit low budget to me as well.
Well, when you see the one,
You could have had it, you know.
Well,
Hi, exactly.
you know what I
Imagine
mean?
you could have had Paul Bearer moving and doing the whole "Oh my Undertaker" Undertaker, all that stuff, you know.
Because when I read that he had showed up in a telegram, I thought they've probably got.
In a telegram.
I thought, what did I say?
You fucking said that in a telegram, in a hologram, you mean?
A hologram.
A telegram. Deet, sending a fucking through the wire. We got a telegram from Mr. Undertaker here. It's Paul Bearer. Come here.
Well, I didn't know, but I just kind of thought to myself when I read the spoiler, I thought, right, they're probably going to get bits and bobs of Paul Bearer's voice through the year because he's probably spoke about like being deed, or or something like that. And I thought they'll mix it together, but it was kind of snide, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just kind of felt it was.
Oh, I'm on, but something different, wasn't it?
There was no way the Undertaker deserved. I don't think. No, obviously he's probably going to go straight into the Hall of Fame.
Again, rammed down my throats again. And think, no, rammed down my throats. I don't want to sound like that kind of guy, but it basically just shows you that they've not got much else.
Here's what I want to put over. I want to put over the Drew and Roman Reigns match, which stole the show completely, and was a cracking. I've always said I just love two big guys going at each other. I actually messaged Drew to say everybody's going to be talking about the fucking Undertaker, but your match was fucking dynamite. That was a brilliant wrestling match, and Drew looked. I mean, Roman Reigns is special. I think, you know what I mean. I mean, I've always said this. You know, I mean, I think Roman Reigns is one of the, once in a generation kind of guys. You know what I mean?
Like a Cena, isn't he?
Aye, he's unreal, right? He's special, and Drew hung with him, no bother in there. Totally looked right in there, and you just want to see them. You're thinking to yourself, this could be WrestleMania main event next year.
But I would say
easy.
I would say that Reigns coped with Drew, but the way you said it, I'd say it the other way. But maybe I'm wrong.
What do you mean?
Well, you just went. What did you say? He kept up with Roman Reigns. I'm like, well, no, I think it'd be the other way about. But
no, I'm saying that the Drew just totally looked the part in there.
Ah, right, okay, I get it.
Totally
I know what you mean. Aye, I'm talking shit. Right,
Roman Reigns is at the only tapis. Roman Reigns is on the top level in that.
The
company.
tapis list, isn't he?
He's only he's right up top in that company. And Drew was right up top with him in that. And that's and right away you just kind of go like, this could be WrestleMania main event next year, easy. Just book that. Just get this up and running. That's what we want to see.
Did it last long?
It was quite long. It was a decent. It wasn't. I mean, I was expecting it to be, interference, and obviously there was the interference, but I was expecting interference to happen earlier than that. Aye, Jey Uso came in, and there was a whole.
I've had a temperature come right on me, then I've got to open my window. It's just right there.
So Grado's just a way to sort himself out with COVID and that. Let's go and see what the punters are wanting to bury and wanting to put over this week. Stephen wants to put over Scotland being class. Football team getting to the Euros. Big Daddy Drew shagging Randy Orton again. Pete winning the Bake Off.
Scottish guy.
Bake Off guy,
aye. Do you watch
Freedom, Flower of Scotland, blah blah, Iron Brew. Also some lassie trying to square go every mammo and Stirling on TikTok. Right, we're no on TikTok, mate.
I don't know that.
We're grown men. Grado. We're no on TikTok.
Nah, I've no on TikTok. Taker's on it. But I'm not.
John wants to put over the Broken Skull sessions with Undertaker on the WWE Network. The big man can tell stories for days. There's a second part of that. I've not watched it yet.
Oh, is there a second part?
Yes, there's a second one.
Oh, really?
It was on right after Survivor Series.
Was it good?
It was I've not seen it yet. It was too late, but of course it was going to be good. They opened up with Jack Daniels right at the start.
Oh, nice.
The Dak Daniels was flowing. They were getting their Dak on, and there's got to be some good stories there.
Here, I was in a hotel last night that was the world record for the most amount of bottles of whiskey in the one room. It was a pure old hotel, the Glen-esque Hotel, and somewhere in Aberdeen, and she was like, look at this, isn't this fantastic? Look at all the whiskey. And I'm not really a big whiskey guy, I tell the woman, it's just Jack Daniels. But then she went, this is the kind of big appeal to this place, right? And I went, cool. And I walked through into the next room, and do you know what they had? What? A fucking room dedicated to planes, man. A picture of the Concorde, the 747, A380, and I'm going, fuck, never mind your whiskey. And I goes, I love this. And she was telling me that the owner was a pilot. By the way, I will be back on Twitch soon. I just got broadband issues. But I just thought I'd tell you, it was amazing, man. All these pictures of planes. So I sat there and got a wee a wee turkey toasty, so it was tidy.
Beautiful. And was this when you were filming the Hogmanay thing?
Aye, wait, what'd you call him?
Gary Rhodes.
Nick Nairn. Aye.
Broncello wants to put over Survivor Series. Great show, and what a laugh at the Patreon pay-per-view party.
It was.
Oh, nice. So that's the patrons all getting involved in the pay-per-view party. 30 years Undertaker and his promo media Zoom tour advertising it. He was loving all that stuff, and he wants to bury the long, almost 40-minute segment that went with it. It was a long segment, wasn't it? Stephen wants to put our Street Profits versus the New Day for Survivor Series in particular. Well, what did we think? Where are they going with this?
I don't know. I thought it's almost like a passing of the torch, but then the New Day are still going. But
I know. So it's weird, isn't it? It's a weird setup. I'm interested to see where it goes. And Stephen wants to bury Impact for having Swoggle come out as AJ Styles. Really cheap dig at the guy that arguably built their company.
Shut up.
And I'm really surprised that of all people, Carl Anderson was at the centre of it. I thought him and Styles were really close mates.
Oh, because I'm sure AJ Styles
doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a fuck. He probably doesn't even know about it. And if he does, he probably went.
He's probably laughing at it. Yeah.
Aye, that's cool, man. Aye, they're all, I hate to break this to you, Steve, but they're all pals. See all the wrestlers don't they all hate one another? It's not like they're all pals.
Wrestling's kid on.
Aye.
We should have a t-shirt that says Wrestling's Kid On it.
That's a good one. Wrestling's Kid On.
Daniel wants to put over Pat McAfee on NXT. Didn't think I'd say that, but he's doing some very good work. John made a wee face there, like, yes, he is.
Oh, he is. He's, I think he's been exceptional. Like, really, really good. His promo is fantastic, and he's no bad in the ring and all. So.
And Daniel wants to bury the Women's Survivor match. Just weird booking overall. The Women's Survivor match, Grado, Lana won. Lana was the sole survivor.
No, I did see the bit for Raw with her and Nikki Storm. That was a bit weird.
No, that was Alexa Bliss.
Oh, sorry.
But that's all right, mate. They are both.
Aye, that wasn't. You like that bit?
Willie wants to put our Sheamus versus Riddle for Raw this week, belt area match. And he wants to bury Survivor Series as a concept. No. I want to come in there on that. I fucking hate the traditional Survivor Series setup. The 4 versus 4 teams flung together. I couldn't give a fuck. Can I hear an amen?
I don't know. I quite like it.
Why'd you like it?
I don't know. I think it's just tradition. You're kind of brought. Survivor Series used to be my favourite pay-per-view. I remember going to the video shop when I was away and, like getting the old Survivor Series 89 and all that sort of stuff. It was all the teams. It's all exciting because all the wrestlers are getting together and they're a team against the baddie team. And I like that. I think that just stuck with me.
Rab, I love multi-mans as well. I do. I don't know whether it's from a wrestler point of view, but I like.
You love being in them because you can get a rest.
Fucking, you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. Because quite a lot of the time, especially at the start, they're all working on the fly. Right, you getting we'll do something together, blah blah, and it's always a lot of it's just kind of, and a lot of it's just improvised as they go along. So I like watching to see how they go, mate. See if I can bump shit. There's not much, but
nah, it's not for me. Stephen wants to put all the Drew and Roman match and bury Strowman headbutting Adam square in the forehead, but I'm having a bruise on top of his head. The bruise was put in the wrong place. Bad work by the makeup team there on that one. You can't get anything past these Wrestling Daft listeners, by the way. They won't notice anything. And Fraser also wants to put all Drew and Roman. He says he'll admit that he was sceptical about the way it was built, but he says the match itself, when it got going, was great. Drew still looks strong despite the loss. And there's the added doubt of whether Roman would have kicked out a Claymore if there'd not been a ref bump, he says. And he also wants to bury that 24/7 title's just no longer relevant. It's had its high point when Drake was champ. I just sighed when it ended up backing our truths, Hans. He says.
Why have you done that?
And finally, Scottish Wrestling Network wants to put over the Reface app for having Grado in the turkey suit as the Thanksgiving featured video. I bet Grado had a few notifications about that. Did you have a few notifications about that,
I've been
mate?
getting all day, man. I got a wee bit of a buzz, man. You're getting that Reface app and it's fucking Dua Lipa, David Beckham, Miley Cyrus, then me. That's honestly... the turkey bit, one of the lowest points. I thought, nah, it wasn't a low point. It was good fun doing that. I liked being in the turkey match. Although TNA would done usually every year they go, "What was your favourite turkey suit memory?" Because I think AJ Styles done it and all that. And usually every year they post me, but this year's the never the bastards. So get it up, he's had go and reface fucking AJ.
Well, good on you, mate. Good on you.
So you can get me Wrestling Daft content at patreon.com/Wrestling Daft. You can even get signed up for a year as a wee Christmas present to yourself. We've got 3 tiers which you can choose and you can get involved at the website patreon.com/Wrestling Daft. The first tier is a Cruiserweight Champion, which is $4 a month, and you get patron-only chat communities, ad-free versions of all the episodes, you get early access, you get random bonus content, a video version of the marks. Plus, you get to vote on what you want to see featured in the list of Wrestling Daft and for the Marks Fantasy Booking Island. Tier 2, you get everything else with that. It's $10 a month. You're the Intercontinental Champion, and you get video versions of the podcast each week. Bonus episodes up there now. You can get the Rab Wrestling, the RF video shoot interview with Rab and my Grado It's Yourself story. Plus, there's going to be a new Dafties one up each week where the Marks are arguing over the best and worst wrestler, match and moment of the month, and we have some very special ones planned for Christmas. You can also join the Patreon pay-per-view parties. Shout out to Robert, Paul, Pablo and everybody else who watched Survivor Series on Monday. Tier 3, you're the World Heavyweight Champion, which is $20 a month. Everything in the previous tiers again. You get a free Wrestling Daft shirt design of your choice. You must be signed up for a minimum of 3 months. Plus, you get to feature on one of our shows as one of our marks. We'll do a running on the show. So if you fancy that and becoming one of our patrons, sign up now at patreon.com/Wrestling Daft, as we would love to welcome you to the roster.
It's the part of the show now where we invite you, the listeners, to do a run-in. Come on, ask what you want. You might want to praise the pilot episode of The Scots. It was fantastic. Go a series. And ask, will we see it in the telly again? Aye, we will. Or just talk about what you want for Christmas. This week, let's welcome to the show. He's a wrestler too. It's Kurt Cooper, a.k.a. Chris Jack. Chris Jack in the house on Wrestling Daft. This is a historic moment, and there he is, Chris Jack himself. How you doing, brother?
I'm not bad, Rab. Yourself?
I'm great, actually. I'm actually in top form.
How are you, Chris?
I'm not bad, Grado. Not bad at all. Thanks for having me on tonight.
What's the deal? John was saying you're for Ireland, or do you work in Ireland, or what's the score?
Right, so I'm from Lanark originally, and then I moved over to Northern Ireland with my wife back in 2014, 6 years ago.
Why did you move?
For love. My wife's over here, so we'd been married a year back home, and then we moved over here, over to lovely Larne, right in the East Antrim coast.
Did you say that you're married? Sorry.
Yes, yes.
Oh man, I got a bit of advice last night off Nick Nairn and Dougie Vipond. They told me never to get married. So
Did they say that?
So, mm-hmm.
They both said that?
Both of them said it, mate.
See, I always feel, see these fucking guys that say that never get married, by the way. They're the fucking problem, they guys. I feel for their fucking wives or their ex-wives. Guys that hit out with that par. Nick Nairn can fuck off. Nick Nairn can fuck off with that par.
Did you have any theme song when you walked down the island? What was your first dance? That kind of thing, I'd like to know that.
Well, see, it wasn't until I was stood at the altar that I was thinking, something classical, something a bit classy for the venue. Right. And I really was gutted that I never thought about putting the theme tune for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like as I was coming down.
Right.
That's what I wanted. Our first dance, my wife got to pick that, so that was Forever Love by Gary Barlow, because she's a big Take That fan.
Oh, nice.
But we didn't account for the fact that the song lasts about 5.5 minutes. So for the first minute and a half, it was all right, and then for the rest of it, you're just kind of like waltzing around in a circle thinking, when the fuck's this going to end? But no, it's a cracking day.
That sounds good. You've given me a wee bit of buzz, right? Tell me if you think this is pathetic, right? But I feel as if, right, and please be honest here, right? But if I get when I get married, because I probably will. Well, you never know what's been recording. For fuck's sake!
Hold on a minute. Yeah, if you get married, or probably. But what's happening here?
There's nothing happening. I just like to listen to things on Spotify, and I think this is what I want to come.
Listen, see if you need any advice about the buying the rings and all that, right? I've been doing that road, so you just give me a shout.
Do you want to listen to this and tell me if you think this is pathetic, right? I'd get to come down to this, right? Listen. Right, listen, it's awfully good, by the way. Wait there, right? Are you stunning there, Matt? Listen to this bit. Isn't that good?
Well,
How good's that? I know Chris like this. And then I want you to see it kicking in, right? Right. She's dead wedding, eh, man? Dun, 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 dun. You even get the bit I've got. Isn't that beautiful?
That's quite. I mean, would she go for that? Do you think?
She's getting the option.
just get tell, and that's it.
Right, Chris, tell us about you wrestle yourself, didn't you?
So I do, yeah. I've told John a couple of times when I've been in the Mark show. I took up wrestling training back in 2018. Purely.
What age did you start?
32.
Fuck, man.
DDP done it.
You're doing a fucking DDP, mate.
Yep.
But I mean, your age shouldn't be a factor. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, it depends on the type of. I mean, it depends on the type of. Because I was thinking back to, like, I've been watching an awful lot of old British wrestling lately because of something I'm writing at the minute. So I've been watching an awful lot of kind of old World of Sport British wrestling and stuff like that. And fucking very few of these guys were young. Very, very few of these guys were young. You know what I mean? And even when I think of, you know, the Japanese wrestling that I love and stuff like that. You know, some of these guys when it feels like they were at their peak and stuff like that were like in their late 30s and stuff like that, you know what I mean, when they were really. So I suppose it's just a style of working in it. It's like there's a very athletic style of working these days that's kind of came for the indie scene and has moved into the kind of spotlight in the majors, and you know, it's very athletic, very, very fast paced and stuff like that. But I just think, you know, you can still. You know, what fucking age? What were we talking about? Who were we talking about recently again? Who was like? Did we not talk about last week? Somebody who was old and is still doing fucking Jericho.
Aye.
Jericho. You know what I mean? So you got plenty of time. What is the scene like in Ireland?
The Northern Irish scene's been a bit up and down over the last couple of years. PWU was the big one, and then there was like a few guys broke off for that and formed this company called Uprising. That was mainly Corvin and Bonesaw, Kings of the North. Like they went over and did that. Where that is Tucker, JDP, Big Tron as well. I don't know if you know these.
Oh, he was signed at one point, Big Tron.
It was OVW, I think.
Aye, man. The guy's fucking massive, man. I remember I seen him years ago for WrestleZone. I think he went out in Newcastle to train. And so what was he actually signed to a developmental deal? Like
I'm pretty sure he was. Like he kind of stopped taking the training just then about the time that I was starting up. So I don't know what his backstory, but I know that he was over there for the good bit. Obviously Tucker as well. And then about the same time, about sort of February last year, both Uprising and PWU kind of went in the shitter, and then two new companies came up, one of which is Titanic Wrestling, which is the company that I train with and work with now. And we're working on getting things back on track, and then COVID hit, and then for some of them the Me Too stuff hit, and that kind of knocked one of the other companies out the water because of stuff that had been going on there as well. But there's another wee company that I've done a few bits with. Alongside one Bingo Balance as well.
Right, so Bingo Balance. Right, so we're not talking.
Let's get to the point here. Like, can you get us in contact with Bingo? And have you met him?
I probably could. I worked a couple of shows with him last summer. One of which ended up with me getting attacked by a pensioner when I was doing a manager gimmick for one of the boys. So I've not spoken to him for like I think since that show.
Tell him we're looking for him.
We're looking for him. You need to tell him we want him. Because I want to manage this guy in ICW when wrestling comes back. I want to manage Bingo Balance in ICW right to the top. I just can't believe he's never ever messaged us. You know what I mean? He's been when I think of people that we talk about, Bingo Balance is number one. Bingo Balance. Bingo Balance has had more mentions on this show than fucking anybody. The Undertaker. You know what I mean? Yeah. Bingo Balance should do some cameos. That would be brilliant. It would be brilliant if we could get. Hello, Granny. If we could get Bingo Balance and then get the punters to send in cameos for Bingo Balance today, would just be the fucking highest point has ever been. Right, my man, what questions have you... What's your finishing move?
I forgot this question.
It was the deadline maker. Like my gimmick is that I'm a dirt sheet journalist kind of thing.
That's
nice.
pretty good,
That's
by
a
the
fucking
way.
good gimmick.
So I'm still trying to work out a few of the kinks with it. Like I've been doing like my own podcast, like in character and stuff as well for a wee bit as well. So I was trying to get all the puns in for all my moves and stuff.
That's a good gimmick, by the way. That's a good
It's
gimmick.
different. And it's the sort of kind of thing that would work in ICW.
Aye, it is. It is.
So my finisher is the deadline maker, and it's a double underhook DDT kind of thing.
Nice.
Like no double underhook. Sorry, like Andrade's hammerlock DDT.
Right.
But then a couple of the more established guys at the training gym have started using variations of DDTs as well. So I might need to change it up by the time we get back.
We were always told when I first started training, DDTs were banned, like because folk would just do everybody can DDT. You know what I mean?
Aye.
It's the thing you done in the playground. DDT. So I think Shamer actually banned it.
Did Shamer ban the DDT?
I think so. Aye, Shamer gone.
If my finishing move would just be called the Grogger, and it would just be me spitting a big fucking grog on the guy's face.
And in COVID times as well, that would be the ultimate heat seeker.
It'd be dynamite.
Yep.
I would love to do that. And you imagine, sometimes you get the matches where your opponent uses your finisher on you. That as well. So sometimes there'll be matches I'm grog on the guy's face and he's fucking right back in my face, man. It'd be brilliant. Right, so what's your questions, man?
So the question for yourself, Rab, and you kind of alluded to it a wee bit earlier on. You talk quite a lot about how your dream is always to get wrestling back on terrestrial telly. How close have you got to that, and what kind of ways have you looked at doing it?
I wouldn't say I've ever really got... Frustratingly, I've never really got particularly close. I mean, my dream had always been for there just to be a weekly wrestling show on terrestrial telly. And I remember, and there's been so many opportunities for it to happen. Probably the closest we ever got was when me and Greg kind of pitched it to BBC Scotland back in the day, and me and Greg were going to be involved and all of that. And this was like a long time ago. We went in and pitched it to the commissioner, and we wanted to use the vast majority of Scottish boys, guys like Grado and stuff like that. We wanted to have a couple of imports as well, though, like a few imports. We wanted a few English people on it. We wanted Paige on it. We wanted
Spud.
Wanted Spud on it. They were the kind of ones we wanted to bring in. But apart from that, just like all the Scottish talent and stuff like that. And, so that was my goal. I mean, go reasonably close with NWA UK Hammerlock as well back in the day. To the point where, it kind of too many fingers get in the pie in it. We lost control of it, and it's just it's difficult. And I think it's frustrating. I remember when STV Glasgow started up. Do you remember that when STV had their own STV Glasgow channel? I remember going to them and saying, "You should have a wrestling show on every week. That would actually get people watching."
Did they just put Tam Cowan and Michelle McManus on it, but because they put her name and everything in that channel?
No, they just didn't. They didn't really take any chances with anything. And then even with the BBC Scotland channel starting, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of thinking, why would you know? But of course, it's different now because ICW are in with WWE now. You know what I mean? They've got their way of getting out to an audience, but it's still no the kind of thing I'm talking about, which is like a terrestrial audience, which is like making names for people in the country. You know what I mean? Making celebrities out of people in the country that they live in, which I'm not sure the WWE deal kind of does. Do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of playing out to an audience that already has the WWE network. I mean, I think it's a great deal. It's an amazing thing these guys having. But I think the thing I would like to see is, on terrestrial, on normal telly, on the iPlayer, a wrestling show every week would be brilliant.
I just don't think it will happen ever again now. I think that's it completely by. I don't think it will ever be. It'll never work.
Be a question for Grado.
I did. And again, kind of based on something that we spoke about earlier on. Obviously, the one bit of advice that a lot of folk get when they come in is, when it comes to your gimmick and your character, it should be yourself turned up to 11. That's what a lot of folk.
11.
11. But what I was going to ask you, Grado, is if Grado hadn't took off, if nobody got behind that, what would your character or your gimmick possibly have been?
I always wanted, and it was Adam Shane, fun enough, that gave me an idea about being. You ever seen Clinton Baptiste?
Aye.
He's the medium, the spiritualist.
Aye. Was that he in Phoenix Nights? Was he in that?
But before, because he's just recently came back, by the way, he's got the best podcast ever, Clinton Baptiste. And if you'd done it in wrestling now, it'd be completely ripping him off. But he gave me an idea about being like a sort of camp medium and reading like the wrestling fans' horns and predicting the future and getting readings and seeing ghosts and stuff like that. And I always had that in the back of my mind. But apart from that, that's about the only one. I can't think if there's anything else that I've ever thought about even. I'm trying to think.
Bus driver
now, or a pilot. Come out one week as a bus driver, come out next week as a pilot, but I can't fucking think if I've actually seen a gimmick. Do you know what I've always wanted to do? Here's a weird thing, right? I've always wanted to wrestle in an Elvis suit. I've always wanted to wrestle in. Remember the flying Elvises in TNA?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have an Elvis suit with cut-off arms, the flares, and the boots. Don't ask me why, right? I'm not a big fucking Elvis fan. I don't really know much about him, but I'd love to wrestle that, and I've often thought about like putting Grado on a jumpsuit and doing that.
Oh, you definitely could. I mean, you could see that at a big show, you coming out with the Elvis jumpsuit on and all that, and your hair all done that way with the fucking Grado and rhinestones on the back, be fucking dynamite.
Aye. But again, that was probably just me.
And you could even have an Elvis impersonator singing your entrance theme.
Aye, all that kind of stuff.
And so I think as a trainee, pretty much still, because I've not got a lot of matches under my belt, I'm kind of at that stage where I don't know whether to stick or twist with like my own gimmick. You know, kind of freshen stuff up, because for whenever we get back, you know, would it be better for me to be doing something else opposed to the stuff that I've done for the last couple of years? So I'm just kind of.
The one thing that does tell is your gimmick's pretty original. I mean, there was a guy years ago that called himself the Smart Mark and stuff like that, but never actually ended. It's done like the dirt sheet right and stuff. So I think you go with that, man.
The only thing I would say about the dirt sheet writer thing is like you never be a babyface.
Aye.
You can never be a face with that gimmick. You know what I mean? So, but that's all right. That's all right. You know what I mean?
And even it's actually quite a good. Even if whatever happens with the wrestling, it's a good managing gimmick as well. Managing somebody that's the dirt sheet writer.
That's pretty much how it started out. I was managing a boy, Lewis Alexander, and basically I was coming out with like the Dead Top newspaper saying like Lewis is the real deal, all this kind of stuff. Yep. Using the paper as my gimmick, as my weapon, all that kind of stuff. So I had that going, but it's just, as I say, it's just trying to get a good run at it to build up the momentum.
Beautiful. Well, you'll need to keep us updated once you get back up and running. Keep yourself safe. Don't get any injuries. Get it going. And who knows, maybe one day you might step into the ring with Grado himself.
Or you might tag with Rab. Remember, I trained you, Rab. Do you tell people that now?
Well, you... I don't know. Did you train me? I wouldn't say you did.
Wolfgang.
I wouldn't say that. It was Wolfgang that trained me. I was trained by Wolfgang.
I was getting taught this same day.
More Wolfgang, then Rudo, then...
All right, cool, man.
Then you, maybe. I just remember you eating a lot of snacks. Do you know that? Right, Chris, thanks so much for coming on.
Cheers,
mate. My best to your wife as well.
All the best, pal. All the best. See you later.
No worries, man. See you later.
Bye.
Cheers.
So thanks to Chris Jack there. Look out for him if you're on the Irish scene. You might see Chris Jack tangling with your favourite pretty soon, writing up some nasty reports about your favourite on the dirt sheets. And if you want to be on next week's run-in, best bet is to sign up to our Patreon, as our World Heavyweight Champs get first dibs, IC Champs get second dibs, and Cruiserweight Champions get third. Get on patreon.com/Wrestling Daft to get yourself involved.
Woo! Rab, how are you getting on with VPNs? Are you using one yet?
Could you explain to me what a VPN
is?
Right,
a VPN, honestly, it's the easiest way to watch English Premier League action this season. It's not just English Premier League, but you can get it with basically anything. Whether you're a supporter of the Red Devils, the Blues, the Citizens, the Hammers, or the Gunners, the easiest way to watch these games is with ExpressVPN. Not only that, but it lets anybody in the world get the cheapest EPL subscription on the market? Have I got your attention, Rob?
You have got my attention 100%, mate.
Well, instead of paying for an expensive cable package, you can watch all the EPL games, full replays, for less than £4 a month on Peacock Premium. The catch, it's only accessible from the United States. Oh, well, that's where ExpressVPN comes in, because it lets you change your online location to a country of your choice so you can access content that's otherwise locked in your region. So you can get 380 games of the EPL this year. Plus, not just that, Rab, man, you can get to watch Saturday Night Live, American Ninja Warrior, Peacock Originals, like Brave New World. I heard that's an absolute cracker. So just fire up ExpressVPN, connect to the United States, subscribe to Peacock Premium, and watch. So what you do is you go to expressvpn.com/wrestling to get an extra 3 months. 3 months of ExpressVPN. Free on a 1-year package, and that goes for everyone. No, just our international listeners. expressvpn.com/wrestling. Get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/wrestling.
That's a hell of a deal. That's a hell of a deal.
That's a hell of a deal, mate, because basically what you do is you just put it to the United States, sign up for bar, and watch all the EPL games that all the Yanks get. So it's tidy.
You just made the list! Every week we run down a chart of something wrestling related in a list of Wrestling Daft. You can vote for what you want us to talk about at patreon.com/Wrestling Daft. Now, inspired by Undertaker's cameo appearance, it's another Grado choice this week. He wanted to know who are the best and worst wrestlers on social media. This week with 55% of the vote, of course, it was the worst wrestlers on social media that won it, which is really difficult for me to do a top 3 because I have to be honest, I follow very, very few wrestlers on social media.
Well, you see, it's weird because see, when I sit here and think about it, when I don't hardly watch wrestling anymore, right? My wrestling is social media, like people's tweets, what they tweet, and all the kind of arguments that they all get into. That's my wrestling. It's weird that, isn't it, when you think about it? But that's me. That's how I watch wrestling, is through Twitter.
Aye. Well, I just don't really follow that many wrestlers, and most of the wrestlers I do follow are the ones that are good on Twitter. So, you know, your Big E, your who else is good? Your Kevin Nash, your because it's always good. Kevin Nash is always tweeting about like
the FBI and all that. Isn't he?
No, he's tweeting about like hating Trump and all that, being a good guy. But I don't really know if I have a 3 worst ones. And also I think it's quite cruel to be going, well, this person's shite. Whose idea was this list? Who was it? It's another Grado
just best
choice.
And worst, but I don't mean I don't think it. I mean, look, if we turn around and say, you know, we don't like what Shane
Cornette. I'm going to say Cornette. Is Cornette on
see,
Twitter?
I love him.
I don't like him on Twitter. I don't know. I've never looked
Mate,
at his Twitter,
him and Dave Meltzer have heavy fell out. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Every episode back and forth. It's just...
Who has Jim Cornette no fell out with?
I know. That's true.
No, I mean...
Anyway.
At some point you've got to go, problem must be with that guy. Anyway, let's see what
fucking work.
Let's see what the punters have got to say. Mick has Curtis Hughes on his Facebook, and apparently he does throwback day every other day, always him and the urn. And he also does stuff like love good barbecue, and it's a photo of Doritos and a bun.
Who's this? Hughes?
Curtis Hughes was the guy who, he's
oh, fucking Curtis Hughes.
Curtis Huge.
Fucking hell, he follows Curtis Hughes. That's hilarious, man.
Aye, Mr. Hughes. So,
that's brilliant. I love how he follows him and watches what he fucking eats. No, that's class. See, I'd like that. I'd like that follow him. Let me follow him.
Scott says, good night, Hulkamaniacs and Jabroni Marks without a life that don't know it's a work when you work a work and work yourself into a shoot. Marks for Hulk Hogan. He says this could be in the best and worst of social media. No, it's just the fucking best. It's the best. Dan says currently the pish that is the Undertaker on Cameo and TikTok, absolutely horrific.
I mean, it's a good laugh, innit? I mean, he is. It kind of spoils the mysteriousness of it, but come on, we've got to go to it one day. You know what I mean?
Chris says Ryback, the shite he spouts is cringeworthy. I feel for Ryback.
Mate, he's one of the nicest guys, by the way. One of the nicest guys. That's fucking.
But why can Ryback not get a sniff anywhere?
I don't know what's happened with him. He's just. But remember before he left WWE, done all the stuff about the contracts, and I mean, he did have the worst idea about, you know, everybody in wrestling should all be paid the same because it's a work, which just is daft. Would you ever have the guy that's playing the shopkeeper in a movie, was he going to get paid the same as Robert De Niro? It doesn't work like that. But I drove Ryback from Motherwell to Glasgow once. He was in my motor.
What did you talk about?
I was in the back, and I was like,
who was in the back?
Yeah, you reckon I hit my bird? And I was like, do you ken this guy? She's like, no. I was like, it's Ryback, man.
Was this Kerry Von Erich?
I put one sky, and I was like, that's how it was in the motor.
Was it Kerry Von Erich?
Kerry Von Erich, aye.
So,
I'm amazed that you had Ryback in the back of your car, Grado.
In fact, he sat up front with me. Sat up front. We worked each other. We had a good match. The only thing is, he wanted to date me. He was like, he was up for everything. Do you know that way? Because he was one of these guys that he'd just been released. It was one of his first couple of matches, and he wanted to do the fucking plancha over the top rope. He wanted to do fucking chair shots, and he was right up for everything, which was good. Do you know what I mean?
you were like, calm down. No.
You're like, calm down, mate. Fucking, we'll just...
Let's just do a dance off. What do you say?
aye. But he was absolutely brand new. But then, I walked him, and then I took him back into Glasgow, and then that was like the Saturday, and then the following Thursday, I met him again in New Orleans because it was WrestleMania, and I was like, "How you doing, mate?" He's like, "Hey, like, good fight, man. Game easy." Cool, right? I'll probably catch up with you on the weekend, Megan. I mean, what was it?
Gordon says,
how you doing?
Gordon says, Marty,
remember me? Fucking 5 days later. Remember me? I wrestled you on Saturday Night Motherwell and I gave you a run my car back to Glasgow. Remember me? I had my bird in my back of my motor, nah?
Gordon says Marty Jannetty just for his apparent confession of murder.
I'm just... It was so awkward, right? Because he was telling me about this fucking protein powder that he was making, right? He'd been on about it for ages and ages and ages, and spoke about it, and it was like, when I first met him again, have you got on with the protein powder? You hadn't been in that, he's telling me. So if there was like a big difference between the fucking Saturday and the Thursday, you know what I mean? How you getting on with that, anyway.
Daniel says Joey Ryan used to think Walliper was only used to describe his gimmick. Superstar Billy Graham seems like a prick as well. Everybody's letting loose here. Chris says Donald Trump. Well, that's interesting. Donald Trump is a wrestling personality. Never shuts up, and he's worse than Triple H when it comes to doing the job and losing. And Stephen says the worst wrestler on social media is Grado. Wish you would stop posting photos and videos of food. I'm on a health kick. You don't do it so much anymore, do you? Post the food.
Don't, mate. No, because you can't get for your dinner. No.
No, you did used to post up some delicious fucking scran, though.
Mate,
sometimes I'd be in my bed at fucking midnight, and then you'd stick up on Instagram something with some delicious fucking burger somewhere or something.
I know. I miss the days, man. Fuck. It's fucking. No, it's just pieces and.
Is that just like when you're on the road travelling about, just getting scrams here, there, and everywhere?
Back in the day, now I'm just going to like the candy bar and sockets for a plate of soup. I'm fucking uploading that.
Jesus Christ, it's depressing.
That's what happens, you know. Pandemics and such like that. So.
Christmas isn't far away, and today being Friday, we're going Black Friday Daft with 25% off in our store. 25% off. You can have a Wrestling Daft t-shirt, hoodie, phone cover, trucker cap, one Air Ranger Grado inspired bum bags at shop.spreadshirt.co.uk/Wrestling Daft. On there you'll find designs such as Alexa, Who's Graham Stevely, I'm a Mark, Crud, Chips, Cheese and Donner Meat, and I'm a Wrestler Tay. You need to go on there. You can even get a face mask to wear while you're stuck in line for Smiths trying desperately to get your hands on that PlayStation 5. You fucking still know you got one. I've been playing mine all week. I've been playing NBA all week. So check out our range at shop.spreadshirt.co.uk/Wrestling Daft now, or check out the links on our Facebook page or Twitter at Wrestling Daft. As Christmas is coming, time to get some presents for your granny. Hello, granny. Now it's that point in the show where we dump Biff Tannen into some shite and head back to the future. Last week, Grado told you to watch, well, I think it was actually me that told you to watch Survivor Series Deadly Game for 1998.
Can I just cut you off before we start talking about this? Tell me what you think, Rab and John, but I think this is the shittest part of the show. And so I think we should change it.
What do you want to change it to? Let's change it. What do you want to change it?
I had an idea about it, Gray, but you go first.
You go first. And hear this. We should hear this because I like when we're.
I thought for the retro review, what we could do is invite on a wrestler or a personality who enjoys
Too much hassle.
and then we have a bit of chat with them, and then they can.
You never get them off. No, fuck that. This is my idea.
All the guys that are in IC, like all the things you're Sean McLaughlin's.
For fuck. Who's wants to listen to Sean McLaughlin?
Sean's a great guy.
Yes, he's great, but I don't want to fucking put up with him when we've been doing a podcast for 2 years and he comes on and starts telling stories. He tell me them in WhatsApp. He's my idea.
Right, okay.
Alistair podcast. I just come into my head, right? A football podcast regarding a certain club, and they at the end of their podcast read out a wee letter. And I think the best stuff in this podcast is when punters tell their stories. What about we done? I mean, John, you maybe know better if this would work easy, but just like people tell us right into their memories of a wrestling moment or something that's happened to them or a story about wrestling that means a lot to them. Now I know you get this right at the start, but if we actually made it a feature. Do you know what I mean? Like a retro kind of memory. I don't know. It could be played out. What do you think, Rab? Do you know what I mean?
Right. Here's my idea. Right.
On you go. He'll nail it because he knows he's the writer.
Here's my idea. Why don't we get the punters to send in funny stories for their past? Right. It doesn't even have to have anything to do with wrestling. Just a funny story about what's happened to them in their life. It has to be true. Is the only thing. And here's what we do at the end of the show every time. Right. We call it Wrestling Daft Road Stories. Right. And we set it up like me and Grado are driving home for a show. Right. And one of us has to go like that to the other one. I need to tell you a story, brother, about something I heard for this guy, right? Something that happened. As if we're driving home, and maybe we could even put a wee sound effect in, like a road and traffic in the background.
Aye.
A nice white ease out of the show, and we tell it, and we have to tell this story that somebody sent in. Mm-hmm. That'll be beautiful.
There you go, Wrestling Daft and Road Stories, because no fuckers watching Survivor Series 98.
Well, you say that, Grado, but
Bronze, you know what I mean?
Bronze Cello did. He says, "Loved this pay-per-view. Wore out the VHS years back. Match of the night, 3-way tag match for me. The Rock looked like an absolute star, beating Bossman in like 5 seconds. Screwing Mankind to give Rock the belt was great storytelling. Laid the groundwork for Austin versus Rock at Mania 15. Let me tell you something. I remember watching this pay-per-view. This is me, Rab Florence. I remember watching it, and when The Rock beat Bossman in like 5 seconds, I was like, oh my God, it's the most mental thing I've ever seen. That was amazing. And then when it turns out at the end of the night, it was a fucking fix. The fix was in. The Bossman fucking laid down for him. It was one of the best twists in the history of wrestling. Daniel says the interesting part of the pay-per-view was the terrible chair shot by Briscoe. I've heard Pritchard and Austin tell stories that it was meant to be Bossman, but he missed his cue and they called an audible. It certainly is one of the best booked pay-per-views ever, though. Absolutely, what a show. Tap to finish. Chris said Survivor Series 98 is a great pay-per-view. Here's what he said, actually. He says, I always thought it was unfairly criticised, but this is largely due to American reviewers no liking the tournament format. It's great storytelling from start to finish. It ends with a proper jaw-drop conclusion. Love the hinting behind the booking of The Rock. Having corporate team members sacrifice themselves in each round so The Rock advances easy, but no making it obvious to reviewers that was what happening. Thought Shane screwing Steve Austin then giving him the bird was an Attitude Era defining moment. Only part I didn't like was Vince ringing the bell with Mankind in the sharpshooter and an obvious dig at Bret Hart. I get why he did it, but this pay-per-view felt about the future, not the past, and it seemed cheap. Oh no, it's one of the best pay-per-views of the late 90s. Only topped in that era, in my opinion, by Canadian Stampede. He says so. That was what Chris said about it. Chris, a big fan of The Rock. So we're not going to pick any shows for next week because next week we're going to have our first Wrestling Daft Road story, and that's going to be one of your stories, something for your past, something funny you did at a family party, something that happened at a wedding, a fight you were involved in, somebody you shagged that you shouldn't have shagged. Whatever that might be, it's got to be the kind of story that a wrestler might tell another wrestler when they're on the road driving home for a show. Yeah. It's got to be the kind of story that has a bit of sauce, a bit of juice to it, a bit of drama to it, something that's going to make the other one laugh. And here's the way I think it should work as well. Only one of you should see it. Like, if it's my turn to tell the story, only I should see it. You shouldn't see it, Grado. And if it's your turn to tell the story, only you should have it and you tell it to me.
That's good.
It'll be beautiful.
I
want fans to send in their story about themselves and for them to go, should I have sent that? Because that's what happens when you're on the road, you're tired, you end up telling everybody your fucking darkest secrets. And once you get home and wake up the next morning, you go, fuck, I shouldn't have told them that. That's what we want.
That'll be beautiful. So get them in, and make them a decent length, no 2-sentence ones. We want your full name and all that as well, because we have to be able to go, well, I need to tell you about this guy Bingo Balance, right? I fucking went to you on a show once, right? So get them in. and maybe it'll be you next week. That's it for this week's show. Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple or get us in wherever you get your podcasts. Don't give us any excuses. Jump on this, because I'll tell you something, this show's about to turn the corner, and it's very special with these road stories starting next week. I feel as if Wrestling Daft's going to become the most avant-garde, most experimental podcast in the wrestling game. We go twice a week, so you can catch us on a Friday, catch a Mark's podcast on a Tuesday. That's where the guys actually watch the wrestling, they know what's going on. Also, remember to get on our Patreon, patreon.com/Wrestling Daft, to check out the video version. And why not buy yourself a t-shirt? Come on, it's Christmas. Come on now. shop.spreadshirt.co.uk/Wrestling Daft Grado.
That was our child that's come into the room.
Mate, I thought that was in my room. Up here, looked about. I shut myself.
Ailey, go away.
Beautiful. Grado, it's yourself.
Up the road. Up the road.
Up the road, that's yourself. It's yourself.
11.
Next week, get your stories in.
Aye.
Hello, Granny.
Goodbye, Granny.
Audio Frontier.